Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Don't say test on my mic. Okay. All right.
No, we can say that.
You guys doing good? Going good so far?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Yes, it's been
Everybody
fun.
doing good? Oh yeah.
You guys having a good camp
This one right
experience?
here has all the good questions, man. That brain's just going.
Yeah, you've been here for all of them, I
I
think.
know.
We appreciate the dedication.
Yeah. So I think you guys excited for the next panel? Yeah. It'll be fun. I think
All right, well, Walking Dead, it's what we've been doing all day long. Please welcome to the stage. You love him, we love him. Please welcome Okea Eme-Akwari.
What's going on?
You know, it goes.
You had to make a dramatic entrance there.
I had to.
Dramatic 2-second pause.
I forgot how to use my legs for a minute.
Fair enough.
Back up.
I thought that was the acting method, you know? Just leave them in suspense.
This is just a little something to hang on to. You guys doing all right today?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because I'm fabulous.
Absolutely.
we know it too. So this is your second camp?
This is
Third?
my third.
Or third
Third,
camp?
right? You were here
third.
in October last year?
That's right, it is third. Jeez, I lost count of one. Yeah. So how's your third camp?
It is nice. I just got here.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted and losing my voice, but it is
Yeah.
seeing all these people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a good one,
And
honestly.
you got your first ever mask making class next
Yes.
tomorrow.
That's so cool.
Trying new things.
Yes, that's going to be fun. So I hope some of you have signed up for that because I didn't get signed up for it because I've got panels. No, it's not your fault.
It should be cool. I
Yeah.
understand that it's sold out, which
Yes.
is awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
Yeah.
you know, assuming that there's some time tomorrow, I'm hoping I could like make some extras and maybe bring them to the table. So if anyone didn't get a chance to get them to the event, you can come see me and then
Yeah.
we might be able to set you up.
Oh,
That's
that'd
very
be
cool.
cool. Very cool.
Maybe you could even autograph them.
Yeah.
Let's see, why not? We got Sharpies over there.
Oh.
Very cool.
You can autograph anything with a Sharpie, right? All right.
So you've been a little busy recently, huh?
Yes.
I think Renee wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so he's got this new movie.
Dude,
And I'm excited about it. I read the description and I'm thinking this is going to be awesome.
it is.
So what can you tell us about Retribution, right?
Retribution.
All right, what can you tell us?
Man, what am I?
Actually, a better question is, what can't you tell us?
Yeah.
Because there is a pretty interesting twist in that movie that they want to save. I
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
see
I
it
get
in the
that.
little blurb that you saw there, but I think what I'm allowed to say is a historical horror movie. Just a little bit of a horror twist that I think that especially this kind of crowd will enjoy. But it takes place in the Civil War era. Essentially, we're a band of black soldiers led by our captain Barabbas, and he's going to take us to essentially shut down this really formidable, whatever that word is. base.
Words.
Yeah, words are words. It's a strong base, guys. So it's gonna be, it's a nice journey movie. There's a good group of us, and it was a lot of fun to shoot out in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Owasso.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds intriguing, especially the horror element because they didn't mention that in the little thing. So
I am allowed to say that.
good. So that's
I believe I'm allowed to say that.
I mean, I think it's very cool. You know, we talk about our podcast all the time, and you had mentioned that there's a twist that they want to kind of keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it on the podcast multiple times. But nowadays in filmography, there's like this, let's spoil the major twists in the trailer and the teaser trailer to draw people in. And it used to be you have to go to the movies to get that spoiler, you know, to get that oh my god moment, you know what I mean? And it's been so long since the last time I experienced that was like Avengers Endgame and seeing Cap grab the hammer, you know what I mean? And just hearing that pop at the crowd at the midnight release was insane.
Not hearing the next dialogue. for the next
Exactly.
5 minutes. Yeah.
And I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I seeing Patrick Stewart, hearing his voice, and then seeing the iconic yellow wheelchair was just chills. You know what I mean? But I'm like, he went on record saying that's not me, and I'm like, I've been listening to your voice for the past 30 years. Yes, it's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's getting scary. Who knows? It might
Yeah.
happen,
So it makes me excited that there are these these studios that want to keep surprises for people, that want to you want you to come there and not expect something to happen, and all of a sudden it does.
Exactly.
So it's cool that you mentioned that.
And I feel like that also generates a different type of surprise. Like, you know, it feels like a movie that you might go to see and you wanted to, like, based off the synopsis alone, it's really interesting. But then when you get that added level and it's a nice surprise for the crowd, that gets the word of mouth going, I think.
Absolutely.
And it's really cool that it's like a historical like period piece.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
was
Like
wanting to do a period piece.
Well,
Like,
that's what I was
very
going to
cool.
ask. Is that your first time doing that?
It is.
And how was that then?
I can't imagine living in that time for
Exactly.
many reasons.
Yes.
But primarily that costume.
Yeah.
Pass the line.
Like the jacket, I can't. Oh Lord. Those shoes had no kind of grip on them. We're hiking and running through all types of terrain, feet bleeding. Got a couple battle scars off that, but it was nice,
Yeah.
honestly, because it really sinks you into it. You
Yeah.
know? I like the authenticity. If I was wearing some Air Maxes or something, then we can't really get into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that kind of role has a really big significance to it. You know, from like a historical standpoint, what it stands for. How was that for you as an actor? And you know,
Yeah, well, it's not based on any, you know, true story. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what it represents more
Yeah,
than anything.
what it represents, and it's just a nice jump off point. But being able to step in those shoes and, you know, kind of following those same footsteps, it's a pretty momentous, honestly. You know, we all kind of felt the gravity of just thinking about this really real situation that did happen. You know, we're supposed to be one of the first black platoons. The way I see it, it's almost like if anyone has seen Denzel Washington's Glory back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good, and it's not Glory. It's not Glory, but we're
Yeah. No, I'm very excited. Do you know when that's coming out then, or I didn't see it?
Not in
Yeah.
the slightest. No,
Yeah. But
I-
you said you just wrapped recently, or?
Yeah, what day is it today? It is May. So we wrap that in.
It comes out in August.
Is it?
It does? I'll take your word for it. We finished that at the first week of April. And honestly, they cranked
Yeah,
out
they actually
really good
do, yeah.
with editing. And I know
Yeah.
they were doing rolling edits anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Is that going to be a theater release or is that a streaming service?
that is part of the conversation, actually. Because
Okay.
when we were there, I know there's a lot of different conversations happening, deciding if they wanted to go to festivals or if they wanted to do straight out theatrical releases. And then probably eventually streaming service rather. But I know they do
Yeah.
want to do a theatrical run.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for it. I still collect Blu-rays and steelbooks, and I go to the movie theaters. You know, I'm still very in that mindset, so that's very cool.
Yeah, we were very much a Blockbuster family back in the day.
Absolutely.
And all my favorite pieces of media I like to own physical copies of. I mean, for me, it's mostly music. I collect
Yeah.
vinyl, and you know, if I find it, and I like that it's getting a resurgence too. You know?
Absolutely.
It's heavy and it sucks when you gotta move, but
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it's nice to have.
But it's a great thing to have. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a 21-year-old sister, or 22 now, and she had a vinyl, you know, she had a record player and she had the vinyls and everything. I was like, how do you even know what that is?
Yeah, you're too young for that. Yeah.
We got old souls still, so
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to ask you, so you went to the Walking Dead finale party, right?
I did.
How was that?
That was overwhelming and fantastic and exhausting, and it was just a beautiful time, honestly. I hadn't got to see the episode, so it was nice to experience that with the whole audience and
The
you
fans
know,
and
yeah,
everything.
fans and so many of the cast that were able to come. You know, and that was my first premiere. I'd never done anything like
Yeah.
that. Because like, for whatever reason, anytime I have something come out, I just happen to be busy or sick. So this was literally the first time I've gotten
To do the red carpet and all that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, yeah.
Which is trippy, but
Yeah.
definitely funny.
I can't imagine. I saw pictures and I thought, just, watching all those pictures and things and thinking, especially for the people who were newer to the series and things that had never experienced that maybe or whatever,
Yeah.
I bet it was just to be there at the finale, how.
Yeah, like the
Just
final hour.
yeah.
I mean, but luckily we just have such a loving and supportive cast. Like, and a lot of people who either recognize it as my first time or I just they'll take you aside, give you a couple pointers, maybe even if it's just take a breath.
Yeah.
And eat a mint.
Yeah.
It helps for sure.
Yeah, that's gotta be a lot of pressure.
I got a career goal question. So, if you look at in the future 5-10 years, what are some of like your your goals you want to achieve as an actor within that next time span? You know, Marvel movie, DC movie.
Man, so I do have specific projects. I think at the baseline of it, I just want to do work that I'm proud of. You know, I want to do work that I actually enjoy doing, regardless of how it'll actually come out. As long as the process of making it is fun and the people involved are involved and not just going through the motions of it, it's all love at the end of the day. That being said, I mean, look, if Kevin and James want to call me, there's one project though. I feel like I talk about it every time somebody asks me, but it's called The Children of Blood and Bone. It's based on a book series by Okea Eme-Akwari, which is a Nigerian out there. It's awesome, but it takes place in like a fictionalized Nigeria. For those who don't know, I'm Nigerian. And it's like magic and it's kingdoms, but all the magic is from our old gods, essentially. You know, so I would suggest reading the book to discover more about it, but they're doing, I believe, a trilogy series, and I think they want to also shoot it in Nigeria, which would just be an amazing and enriching experience. Even if I can just hand out water on that set, that would be amazing. Yeah. But that's a definite goal. Anything that I get to learn something new, because like they use spells too. So unfortunately, I don't speak my own native tongue, and all the spells are in Yoruba. I'm Igbo myself, but just speaking the language and literally speaking the magic of my language would just be amazing, you know?
It sounds powerful. It really does.
It is. It is. And it's also just a cool book. Like, it's a young adult kind of vibe, journey, conquer, save the kingdom, you know?
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So is there any possibility of that, hopefully?
Who knows, honestly, you know, whenever they get auditions going for that, I hope that comes across my table. I don't think they're that deep into the process. The third book hasn't come out yet, so I think they're maybe waiting for all the source material.
Makes sense,
and
yeah.
then they're gonna move forward after that.
I'm gonna kind of branch off from Chris's question, but if you could play on screen any superhero, DC, Marvel, doesn't matter, who would it be?
So, oh man, I can talk about this all day. All right, so on the DC side, they have, you know, kind of a branch off with the Legion of Superheroes.
Yep.
And there's one character on there named Tyrock, and it's not just because he has an afro, but I think he just has a really cool power. He has like a vocal-based power, and like which in the comics can look a little wonky because like the type of screams that he does or the type of vocalizations will have different effects. It could be a blast, it could be like a dimensional rift, all these, and I think that would just be really cool to try. You know, maybe even the vocal training it would take to make distinct noises that will create something. And I think that's just a new avenue. Like they don't really explore the Legend of Superheroes outside of the animated stuff, so I think that would be really cool to bring to screen.
Yeah, it would be very cool to see an adaptation of that. If it was Marvel though.
Marvel.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything that, like I don't want to reimagine a character. I would like to originate something. I mean, I guess they're really set up with the younger vendors. It's hard to think about, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back to you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You're not saying no to the phone call, that's for sure.
I'm not gonna say no. Listen, my number has not changed.
Kevin, if you're listening.
Yeah.
James Gunn. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do we have any audience questions?
She's already smiling.
I saw the look. I saw the look. You got sunglasses, but I saw it.
Before I ask this question, who is that supposed to be? Because I'm looking at
It's him.
Okay.
It's my traveling Pookie. So this is Pookie. We call him Pookie. And it was kind of a joke thing, but then whenever I go to cons, I have to bring traveling Pookie with me.
It makes sense. He ain't gonna talk back.
Yeah, I know. He's very
One
easy.
of our good friends and one of our first fans of our podcast, Erin, she had made him as kind of like a gag gift for me. And when I got it, I said to Chris, I said, what am I gonna do with this? I'm like, I'm not gonna keep this creepy. What? So we're like, all right, we'll do a giveaway. And Renee won it before she's ever part of our podcast.
I was just the background. Like
Yeah.
I just did
Yep.
my social media things.
Okay.
And so they had trivia one night, and it was actually who is Dale's wife's name.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the
Yeah, that's
that was
right.
the question, and I won Pookie. So now I
Yep.
bring him with me.
I don't even remember her name. Irma. Oh yeah.
I know what I yeah. But yeah, so that's who he is. And it's funny because you're like one of the only first people that even asked
Since-
been looking at him all day, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask.
Yes, thank you for asking. So, yeah.
Okay, question for you. So, I don't know a lot about Elijah. He real mysterious. We never really got no backstory about him. All we know is he had a sister, and we saw her. She was a walker. What is the significance behind him wearing the mask? Was he doing that pre-apocalypse, or is that just like how Michonne started doing her thing with her cloak and it just became a part of her? Like, was that pre-apocalypse? Like, where'd that come from?
It's definitely something that's adopted post-apocalypse.
Okay.
And, Elijah wasn't really old enough to have much of an established character before apocalypse, but the show and the writers, they have their own ideas. I have mine. The way I always saw it, and which helped me get into the character, like, I don't know if you're ever younger, you ever imagine yourself as a superhero, you might tie your bat towel around your neck, and you feel like you can
Run
fly.
around with a cape on,
Exactly.
made out of anything.
Exactly, and it's that same concept, you know. It's the physical representation of wearing a mask that you need to protect yourself from the outside world. Because, you know, I think we did get to see a softer side of Elijah as well, and see that there's a lot more going on than just some ninja moves and some combos. But for me, it was a thing of like, let's get into the mission mode. You know what I mean? Block out everything except for the people that I need to protect, or the people, you know, maybe even protecting myself. You know, yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I tell you, that's one thing. The first time, you know, when first get introduced to him, we don't, you know, first time we see him, we don't even know who he is. Or the very first time, which you didn't play that part, did you?
Not yet.
Yeah.
The very first time.
Yeah, that was someone else.
I
Yeah.
think I actually got the audition like the day after that aired.
Yeah. So yeah, so it was like we didn't even know this. Everybody was speculating all these crazy.
It was
wild
all over the
things.
internet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Heath. You know?
My favorite was it's Dwayne.
Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah.
my favorite. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, people, come on. But anyway, but I remember like when you were with, they were hiding with Kelly behind like the whatever, and that was the first time we saw him take the mask off, and that just. It was like, as a mother, I just felt like, oh, it's this little boy, and I want to protect him, you know. And I felt like this, I don't know, it was like this immediate connection to him just by that scared look in his face. Like, okay, he's got his mask on and he's strong and he's got this, underneath there's that very sensitive side to him. And it was, I don't know, it was just such a neat, you know, you know, just between those two things, with the mask and without the mask, and it was
I
awesome.
did like the juxtaposition of that,
Yes.
because, you know, especially because of all the hype and what was the preconceived notions of the character was going to be, to get to do, and that was our first day too. That was so it felt nice to get that out of the way, but also establish as like, you know, here I am. And Angel was such a good scene partner in there, and just a good friend in general, and just helping me chill out and not.
That's a big deal, yeah.
It was a fun scene to shoot.
Yeah.
I think we need a Tales episode
Please.
of Elijah.
Please.
It leads up to your sister.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, that was heartbreaking for me too. They did such a good job with the casting. I still remember her. Her name is Casey, and like literally, we even had Casey.
Yes.
Hey. All right, now. Well, like I was born in Houston, Texas. I think she lived in Houston as well. She was half Nigerian. Like, I don't know if all that was on purpose, but they made it work, and it was really easy to just, you know, connect with her in that day. And yeah, it would be cool to hear some history behind that.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we
Chris, right over here. Come over here.
Head over
You
my
gotta go
head.
over there because of my.
It's gonna
Can
squeal.
I just project?
No, we like because we have to hear it.
I'm a professor, so I can.
I know, but we need
Yeah,
to
we're
hear it.
recording. Yeah.
Thank you.
So a lot of what I was going to ask has already kind of been answered and asked, but I have two questions. One, I just always like to find out, like, were you a fan of the show already? Had you watched it? And then the second one is, again, like your backstory. Like, I was just wondering if there was like anything that they did end up making it in that helped us to better understand, because Maggie seemed like very protective of you. You were obviously traumatized. Like, so I just always felt like they left us hanging with that, like they could have told us more. So was there anything that you guys acted out that didn't make it in, or something in the script?
Yeah. So remind me your first question, just so I make sure I do it.
Were you a fan of the show?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so originally it was actually my sister's show. Like, this was her shit. Sorry. And because it is my older sister and I'm the younger brother, I actively was not going to watch it because she just loved it so much. But at the time, we only had one TV, so I started creeping around the corner. I'm like, oh, this is pretty fire. And I think I jumped in in the I think it's season 3 in the prison, in the prison stuff, and I thought that was season 1, so I started watching from there. And then yeah, I know, right? They started talking about things. I'm like, when am I gonna get to that? And it turns out I was like, Shane, who is all this other stuff. So I went back and then watched, and then of course when I got cast, I started it over and caught back up because I hadn't watched like any of the Whisperer stuff yet. So it was cool seeing, you know, the Lydia character in Alpha and everyone get introduced because that was some awesome stuff. And then secondly, yeah, backstory stuff. There was nothing that we shot, but there was always things being discussed on set, you know, especially on a show like that. The writers are always active in developing the story. And since there's so many different writers and so many different characters that they need to cater to, you know, they like to be as prepared as possible, which is why they support our writers, guys. But they do all this work in developing, and then we have an hour of programming to air. So they pick and choose, and then the story changes. But who knows? Maybe it's a Tales episode. Maybe there's something in the future. But I feel like there's always an opportunity to explore something.
Okay. One, it's so funny that your sister was watching Walking Dead first. My little brother was watching Walking Dead first, and I would like walk past and see him watching season 5, and I would be like, what is that? And I started watching it, he was like, you gotta start from the beginning. And now he don't even watch the shit no more. He's still mad about Abraham. But, did you read the comics? Do you know anything about the comics?
Yeah, really more of the comic knowledge I got was after booking the role, just to do research, because I was one of those people trying to figure out who, because I didn't know based on the audition that I was auditioning for, you know, that guy. So I was doing a lot of research and a lot of fan helped research to figure things out. But I didn't actually own any of the physical comics myself. Zombies in my house, my mom was not.
That's all my mama like. Anything horror, kill, that's all my mama.
She won't watch it, which is funny. Like my mom, if she's watching a movie, somebody needs to die within the first 30 minutes, or if we're not watching it. But zombies, she will draw the line.
Please read the comics, they're good.
Yeah, I check my read.
Way more fucked up than the show.
For sure. Is there any more questions? Yeah.
You wanted to know?
Yeah, we gotta get the mic. Stand.
Gotta prepare myself. So, do you like the ending that Elijah got? Or do you think more should have happened? Like he should have continued fighting? Or do you like the love story ending?
I mean, I feel like we're always fighting, you know? It's not just a interpersonal story, but it's also the world at large is still very fucked up, you know? So I like that we got to see him happy, especially in the first arc of the story. I feel like it was just a lot of tragedy, you know? And I'm happy that he was able to find love with Lydia. I'm happy that there's a community now, because I feel like that was a lot of the story for him, is the people that he lost with Meridian, you know? So to round about that, and again, the idea of a found family and a place to call home, you know, we start seeing the mask less and less, and I think that is also a representation of his emotional state, of how adjusted he is becoming, you know?
Especially because you have to think that at the beginning, at that point, when you had Lydia and you had Elijah, there had been 2 or 3 time jumps on the show at that point. So it had been years since the outbreak started. So for all intents and purposes, Lydia and Elijah were kids when this happened.
Like Carl.
Literally, and it traumatized them. And so they kind of found each other.
Yeah. And
I liked it because it was like they started to kind of like repair the cracks in each other. And you saw kind of the ending I think they deserved.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, even removing myself out of it, seeing Lydia happy, because Lord knows her relationship history, you know, and she
had it rough.
Yeah.
She lost the arm for you. She lost the arm for you.
did.
Yeah,
She did.
Yeah.
She was hot. She's such a great actor too.
You don't get much more loyal than that.
Yeah.
When they said they'd lose a limb for you, well, literally.
She could have went her whole life never being dead. Her whole life, just fine.
She's not.
All right.
Any more questions? Oh, one more.
Hi, so I feel like I'm going to ask a similar question for Cooper and Cassidy tomorrow, so sorry if this is redundant. But one of my favorite, we all talked about the scenes that make us emotional, and we're sitting on the couch at home crying, and Elijah being swept away in the herd, and then kind of the sequence of events that follow, with Lydia getting bit, and then Jerry, we don't know if we're ever going to see him again when he goes out the door. My question, though, in that scene was you guys all performed it so well, and I always wonder how much you know about what's going to happen. Like, did you have any idea what was going to happen to Elijah after that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which is just heart thumping for me. I mean, luckily we have, you know, like we're friends in real life, so we'll talk about things. And I think I was actually at Cooper's house when the finale script came out, and you know, like, so the first thing we do is like, oh, we're scrolling. It's like, do we live? Do we die? Like, you know, just to see. Yeah, right. And even if in that script we have one ending, who knows on the day that we're shooting, it might change by then, you know? So we had no prior knowledge at all, but definitely just the general support that we have for each other to hope that we see each other at the end, you know? I hope that answers the question.
All right. I think that's it for us. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Okay, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for great questions.
Please give it up for Okea Eme-Akwari.